Profit Constructors presents a 9.5-part guide to the basic data and reporting in Knowify. Part 7, Advanced Job Report.
Welcome back. Today we are talking about the Advanced Jobs Report. All right, let's dive in and see some information and data about the Advanced Jobs Report. Some of you may remember from when we talked about this in our profit and loss and our budgets versus actuals sessions that the Advanced Jobs Report, typically, if it has quite a bit of information on it, and this is the case with a lot of different Knowify reports that are a little bit bigger, rather than just straight up downloading, Knowify will gather all the data and send that to you as an email. But it still comes as an Excel file in your email. So let's go ahead and download the Advanced Jobs Report that we previously requested. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger so that everyone can kind of see it. And I'm also going to use a little trick that I like to use in Knowify, which sets each of these columns to the exact width that we need in order to see what's in that column. So let's take a look at what's happening on this report, and we'll dive in and take a little bit of time to understand what it could be used for, what there is to know here, and why would you want to know it. So this is going to download for the time frame that we selected. This is going to download anything that was open during that time frame. You can see that it's going to tell us the name of the job, a contract number if we have one, the status of the job, whether it's active or pending or closed. It's going to tell us who the top level client is for that. So which customer are we doing this project for? Start and end date for the project. And those are all fairly simple and good information to know, right? So we might want to know particular start and end dates. Again, we can start to manipulate this report as we need to. But then it's going to begin to tell us information such as what was the original contract value, what change orders have been added to that contract, and therefore what is our current contract value. It's going to tell us for the revenue side of things, what's been invoiced, what's been held for retention, and then of course the total invoice amount there. And any payments to date against those invoices. We're going to see based on the current time frame. So on this particular report, keep in mind if you're using this as a WIP report that the WIP amount that is in column N here on this report is as of the day that you pulled this report. So there's no way to sort of manipulate this particular report within Knowify and say I need to see prior WIP information. But as of the day that you pull this report, you can kind of see your overs and unders and where you're at on billing, if that's important to you to know a percentage of completion WIP number. And then you also can see labor, material, and subcontractors, their individual budgeted amounts, costs to date, and the amount remaining or variance. And you'll see added on here something this is interesting. Now, when you pull this report down, there's a new section for equipment. If you've been working in Knowify for any amount of time, you'll know this is actually something that wasn't there before. And it's kind of a little clue and insight into the fact that eventually, and quite soon, hopefully, within Knowify, we'll see on our plan and track page as well a separate breakdown and tracking of equipment. So where on the plan and track we have already labor, materials, and subcontractors, we'll be able to see that information broken down by equipment as well. I'm going to call Knowify when we're done with this recording and ask them why there's $114 sitting in equipment here on this particular project, because I don't even know how that got there. I don't have the ability to enter it that way. So I want to know. I want to find out how they think that there's some equipment out there. We'll go dig into that. And then also you'll see that total cost. So all of those separate breakdowns between labor, material, subcontractors, and now equipment, the total budgeted, the total that's been spent to date, and then anything that is remaining, whether we're over budget or still coming in under budget from a total standpoint of the job. One of the things we mentioned in our profit and loss side of things is that you can see both the dollar and percent profit for anything that is, has revenue and costs associated with it. If we have no revenue or no costs, we then of course won't be able to see or no revenue or costs totally, then we won't be able to see any profit. So you'll see these in A items. That's either something where we have costs but no revenue, or we don't have any revenue or cost. So that's what that NA stands for. And then we also do have, and again, keeping in mind that if percent of completion and WIP reporting is important to you, this report is only going to be to the current date of the day that you pulled the report. That percent complete number is going to only be to that particular time frame. So, and you also have the ability, it's not something that our team tends to use a lot, but it is a very good idea for contractors who have more than one salesperson, more than one salesperson selling jobs, and or more than one project manager managing jobs. You'll be able to see the sales lead and project manager broken down on this report as well. So again, if you want to manipulate this data, you could maybe perhaps extract only the data for a particular project manager's job so that you can have some conversations with him around what's going on with his jobs and or sales folks. If you have estimators that are estimating things and you put those in the sales lead, you kind of go back and review with them budgets versus actuals. And again, now we want to go ahead and get stuff onto the budget, something we've talked about in our budgets versus actuals session. You want to get things on the budget, and then you want to track against that budget, and then you want to use that to manage the jobs in progress. And you want to use that to analyze and better bid jobs as we go forward, because we can understand from what's happened prior whether we were budgeting correctly, and we can budget better as we go forward. Now you'll see that down at the bottom of this report, there's actually more tabs that we haven't even explored. I'm not going to spend a ton of time because we don't have it, but these were all open and active jobs. We can see the same information for jobs that are still showing up as open bid jobs. So we can see what's budgeted on those. And again, who that sales lead or project manager might be. So we can chat with them about those jobs that are in the bidding area. We can see information on closed jobs. So once again, especially for maybe a project closeout or understanding the final numbers on your percentage of completion WIP reporting that you need to do, you can come and check out all of that information on the closed jobs. And again, not that there's many on here because we haven't rejected any bids that we've sent out in this test account, but you could see any rejected bids and review that with your estimators and sales leads as well. So a lot to see here on the advanced jobs report. Now, what is there that we can know, and why do we want to know it? Well, we can know for all of our active jobs, sort of where everything is in progress. We can understand what we've billed. We can understand what the costs are. We can understand what the profit is and profit percentage. We can understand if we are maybe over or under billed on that project against any given date that we pull this report down on. And we can understand, whether or not we're going over budget, if we need to make some adjustments. Maybe we haven't requested some change orders, maybe changes were made out in the field and the information hasn't yet gotten back into the estimator that there's a change order needed, but we can see that change order does need to happen because we've gone over budget. All the types of things that you would want to know in order to better manage your job can be found right here on this advanced jobs report. And it's a great amount of good data that you can pull out and extract and know in your business. Next time when we come back, we're going to be talking about something really interesting. We're going to be talking about internal tracking that you can do in Knowify and how to see some of that data. We'll see you then.